Hello and welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us. If you attended the keynote session in the morning, you heard Jeetu, our Chief Product Officer, talk about how critical AI has already become for the entire world, really. And from a service provider perspective, we believe that service providers are at the heart of the AI ecosystem and have huge opportunities. And to understand why, look at the traffic patterns that we are starting to see now, right? We are starting to see more and more inferencing traffic, and you can see some of the statistics. 75% of traffic is now, we are expecting to see a 75% growth in inferencing traffic over the next 3 years or so. We are seeing a lot more distributed edge data centers precisely to serve these kinds of inferencing traffic use cases. And as agentic traffic starts becoming a bigger and bigger part of internet payloads, we expect to see a tremendous amount of growth in the WAN as well, 82% growth, right? So tokens as the currency of AI have become central to how traffic is being served. So the efficient creation and delivery of tokens is becoming absolutely critical. So if you think about why service providers have a huge opportunity, why we believe that, look at what service providers have, right? First of all, they have the physical assets for AI. And those are assets like POPs, real estate, cable, right, fiber, power. They have all of that already. What's more, they have these in locations that are distributed in metro locations. And if you think about how inferencing is served, it is through those smaller data centers located closer to users. And so service providers already have those assets set up. A third important factor, if you think about it, is trust and security, right? More and more, the impediment to rolling out AI at scale is going to be our ability to trust AI systems. And if you think about service providers, they've long been in the business of providing mission-critical infrastructure for decades, right? And so they're already trusted entities in a lot of countries. So they're natural providers, partners for providing AI. So if you look at all of these together, service providers are perfectly poised to provide that end-to-end delivery of AI, right? Hosting of AI, interchanging AI at these data centers, serving agentic workloads, and so forth. And this is what really we are targeting. As Cisco, what we are bringing to our customers is an entire portfolio, starting with silicon, the systems on top of it, optics, and software, all put together, designed to serve the needs of our customers when it comes to delivering AI use cases going forward. So we made an announcement this morning, and I have 2 chips with me, and Jeetu showed these on stage as well. The first of these, if I can remove this, is G300. This is our 100 terabit switching ASIC that we are now shipping, that we are now producing, and we will have systems shipping on these soon. In the show floor area, we already have a liquid-cooled system that you can see, 100 terabit, and we have air-cooled versions of these as well. So that's a switching ASIC that goes inside the data center, allows us to build these highly scaled data center environments. And then we also have a router that is a 51.2 terabit router built on our P200 ASIC. This is, at this point in time, the world's highest capacity routing ASIC, right? 51 terabits. And again, we are able to build extremely efficient systems based on those. And you can see those systems listed below, right? The 81 series are our switching systems built on the G300 switching ASIC. And the 82 series, 8223 in particular, is our router built on the P200 ASIC. And then we have optics. We are announcing new optics. Bill will talk about that for a little bit. And then we have our software. We are announcing new capabilities in our automation software, Cisco Crosswork, bringing in agentic capabilities into it. So there's a lot of goodness in the whole stack that we have built to help our customers build the AI infrastructure that they need for tomorrow. But I did want to call out one last thing before I invite Bill onto the stage. It's not just those new announcements that are geared towards high-capacity AI use cases. The Cisco 8000 portfolio for service providers at this point in time is a complete portfolio that we've built out over the last couple of years. It's a brand new portfolio built on our Silicon One ASIC. And you can see that the full family of ASICs and systems is now available. At the top left, we have our A100 ASIC. That's a 1 terabit chip. It's been designed to build use cases like cell site routers and CPE devices, the little devices that sit at the endpoints. Then we have the P100 ASIC. That's a 19.2 terabit ASIC, which allows us to build dense aggregation systems, 100 gig, 400 gig, and so forth. And then we have one of our newest parts of the portfolio, the K100 Silicon. This is an edge chip, and we have built a family of platforms already with more coming on the way. This allows our customers to build things like high scale, high feature rich, business PE, subscriber management, BNG kind of use cases. And then finally, we have the core and peering boxes, the high capacity boxes. We have deployed the first version of it, Q200 based devices. It's been the fastest growing product in the history of Cisco service provider. And then the newest one that I just talked about, P200, and we have systems off of that. So I'll leave you with this. We have a complete portfolio for our customers for AI use cases as well as existing use cases. And with that, I'm going to now invite Bill onto the stage to talk about optics.
Thanks, Guru. Hi, everybody. Thanks for being here. I'm Bill Gartner. I have responsibility for Cisco's optical portfolio and the optics as well. And I'm just going to talk about two things. One is what happens when you have to send a signal across data centers. So you're now leaving the data center and sending a signal across a city or across the country. Now you need a very, very powerful optic that can send signals over very long distances and combine them with other signals onto a fiber using DWDM technology. Historically, we did that with transponders that sit in a chassis. Those transponders are fairly power hungry and they take up space. The new innovation is actually taking that technology that would previously have been deployed in a transponder, a line card, and delivering that in the form of a pluggable optic. And so today, we can actually deliver 800 gig of capacity in a pluggable optic that can travel about 1,000 kilometers. We also have long-haul versions of this at 400 gig that can go up to about 3,000 kilometers. And this delivers very significant CapEx and OpEx savings for our customers. CapEx savings in the range of around 65, 66%. OpEx savings that are derived from power savings and space savings. Very significant economic value, and that's day one value for our customers. The other area that we focus a lot on are the optics that are inside the data center. Those optics that are used in an AI application for scale across or in a conventional data center application. And we announced today an OSFP at 1.6 terabit. And if I can get it out of my pocket, this is an OSFP optic, 1.6 terabit. This is the highest capacity optic in the industry at this point. And these optics are used in classical network applications, but also in AI applications. And one thing I want to leave you with is that the reliability needs for an AI application are far greater than a conventional classical network. Why is that? In a conventional classical network, if there's a bit error due to the optic, whether it's a link flop or an error burst, TCP/IP will bridge that, and you'll never know that there's a problem. TCP/IP will simply retransmit that packet. In an AI infrastructure, we have all of these GPUs running in parallel. And if one link experiences a problem, all of those GPUs have to back up to a checkpoint and restart. And that can result in very significant reduction in the efficiency of that AI infrastructure. Now, what we do to make sure that we're giving our customers the most reliable optic that's possible is we put our optics through a qualification process that tests against every optical spec, every electrical spec, every mechanical spec under all operating conditions. That means all environmental conditions. It means different host conditions, like different host signal rates on the SerDes lines, different skew between those hosts, different voltage levels. And we test against all of those corner cases and all those combinations. That test takes 5 weeks to run. We know that is the gold standard in the industry because we've acquired optics from other suppliers of optics in the industry. We acquired 35 different optics, all of which claimed compliance with all of the relevant standards. We put those optics through our qualification test, and none of those optics passed the first time. they had a variety of problems. Some of them were functional, some of them were performance, some of them were standards compliance. So we know that our optics deliver the best reliability in the industry for optics that are used inside the data center, whether that's a 10 gig optic, 100 gig optic, 400 gig, or 800 gig, now 1.6T. So that's our optics story. Optics inside the data center, optics that are leaving the data center where we're using the ZR optics. I'm very, very delighted to be able to have a customer here with us today. Michael van Rooyen from Megaport is going to come tell us a little bit about what's happening with Megaport, and then we're going to do a little bit of question Q&A. Michael?
Great. Thanks, Bill. Thanks, Bill. I'll just spend a couple of minutes giving a bit of an overview of Megaport for those who are unfamiliar with us or don't know what we do. And then we'll have a quick look at a demo of how our portal works and how we interconnect not only clouds, enterprises, and obviously AI workloads, but also how we scale that out as well. And we'll go through some questions and answers about our network. I'm the EVP of Global Innovation from Megaport, looking after new products and services and expansion of our portfolio. So from a Megaport point of view, we're in over 1,000 data centers globally. That's physically in those locations, stitched together by over 6,000 pieces of fiber optic, running on a completely automated network. Apart from the physical build of the network, everything is completely automated. We've been automated since day one, 13 years ago, and we continue to scale that network out today. As you can see there, 26 countries. We're now in 27 with the addition of India that we announced recently. We have over 3,000 Cisco devices in our network, again, completely automated. We're on the 400 gig journey, talking about 800 gig, which we'll cover in a minute. Additionally, we also interconnect, and where we started was the connectivity between enterprises and clouds. So hyperscalers, people wanting to get an automated way to get into hyperscalers was completely how we delivered that. We've also got a bunch of service providers and a huge marketplace. Additionally to that, we provide a virtual product, really powered on top of our network to support things like virtual edge firewalls, Cisco FTD, Cisco SD-WAN, and we announced today our support for Meraki SD-WAN as well. On our MVE platform, the Virtual Edge, Cisco is our #1 partner, and we continue to see that grow heavily. We also interconnect things like other exchange services such as you can see, the WebEx, to allow people to have direct connectivity. This is a completely private network for customers who are on our network. It allows them to connect to us globally and really within 60 seconds connect anywhere in the world. As you can see, that we're also available on the Cisco price list, so ability to transact with us is really frictionless through the Cisco partner scheme. And also we can provision all the Catalyst SD-WAN through our portal as well. I have a quick demo, and I'll probably step out of the way so you can see it, from our CEO on how our portal works to give you an idea of the internet.
Megaport's spent the past decade building out over 850 data centers across 150 cities in over 25 different countries and stitching together the world's largest network as a service platform so that in less than 60 seconds you can choose your data center, create a port, connect into our backbone at up to 100 gigs and do that in less than 60 seconds. And there you have it. You're now live inside the Megaport backbone, and we can take that connection and now you can choose to connect to cloud providers, private connections, Megaport Internet, our internet exchanges, or our incredibly large marketplace. Let's do a cloud. We'll take AWS, choose a hosted connection, and you want to pick your country. You could pick any location around the world. Let's go into the United States. Let's choose Ashburn. You have a choice between different colors, which give you diversity zones. Let's choose a blue into Ashburn, and then you give it a name. Pick a speed. We'll go right up to 10 gig into Amazon Web Services. Choose your term. We could do month to month all the way up to 36 months and beyond. Choose your Amazon Web Services account ID. That's all you need to pick. And then click add. And now what you can see is in less than 60 seconds, we've connected to the Megaport backbone at 100 gig in that data center, and you now have a 10 gig connection across the US into that Amazon Web Services on-ramp. Let's go back in and do a little bit more. Take that same port and now build out what we call Global WAN as a service. Click a private VXC, and we can choose Australia, which is where my accent's from, and in fact where Megaport was founded, here in Brisbane. Let's choose the Brisbane location, we'll give it a name, we'll pick a speed, jump through, and all you need to do is click next and add that connection, and there you have it. In less than 60 seconds, we've built out a global WAN high-speed connection, private, all the way over to Brisbane, Australia, where the company was founded. There's so much more you can do with Megaport. Please take the time to check out our website or talk to one of our reps anywhere in the world.
Right. Excellent. Gentlemen. Did you want that?
All right.
Thank you.
Do you want to grab this end?
Sure.
I'll sit here. Bill, you can sit there. Thank you, Michael. That was very impressive. It's amazing what you've done with your network and all of your capabilities. And thank you for being such a great partner. We are very honored to be part of that journey.
Yeah, we really appreciate the partnership
Yeah.
as well. It's certainly a collaborative partnership, and we've been building with Cisco from the very early days. As I said, we're 13 years old now and continue to expand our network, in conjunction with you throughout the world.
Indeed. So let me ask you a question that I actually ask all of my customers when I meet them, right? We talk a lot about AI. We are clearly seeing the influence of AI in a big way in networking in general. From your perspective as a service provider, how are you seeing the impact of AI, sovereignty, and how are you preparing and planning to roll out your network in preparation for this?
Yeah, great question. As I indicated earlier, Megaport was founded out of really stitching initially data centers together and then really delivering cloud connectivity, into the hyperscalers. So realistically, we were well engineered, although no one knew about the AI revolution back then. But today, what we're seeing is, many customers, going from traditional north-south type activities or workloads. We're seeing very much east-west traffic across our data centers.
Yeah.
We have a large ecosystem of AI partners that we have delivered connectivity into that. Mm-hmm. And we see a lot of traffic patterns, really in a bursty format, moving workloads around. And in fact, with our automated network through API-driven engagements, a lot of customers are actually moving workloads around, buying GPU as a service for pricing variants. So we're seeing quite a lot of that. We're obviously going to scale it up. The biggest thing we're doing is really scaling the capacity of the network because these are such large models.
Yep.
And then with our network footprint as well, with the sovereignty component, being in over 27 countries and physically in those locations, really working and engineering how we contain those networks to be, very specific around sovereign. It's been very topical this week around sovereign. Yeah. But that's how we're scaling out, really preparing for that and continue to add more marketplace partners. And in fact, even our own, we've added a bit of GPU capability, for those workloads as well.
Yeah. No, that's great. We've been talking about how service providers are perfectly positioned, players such as yourself, big cloud providers, interconnect providers, and the Megaport network is a great example of exactly that, and looks like you're seeing a lot of that traffic, especially with on-ramps to clouds and so forth, that is AI-driven.
Yeah, and we're seeing the typical workload migration in and out of cloud, moving to different clouds. Probably the biggest one we do see as well is the ability for customers to do temporary work. So our network being so easily flexible to add and remove circuits, instantly, as Michael demonstrated there. We're seeing customers spin us up temporarily for a project, get a workload done, and then pull it down without having the delays of standing it up, taking the time with the carriers, thinking about the independence of that, and also moving workloads around the globe is certainly a big traffic pattern we're seeing fairly regularly.
Indeed. Mm-hmm. Perfect.
So Michael, I talked a bit about the great advantages that come with digital coherent pluggable optics, which we call routed optical networking.
Yes.
And Megaport's been on a journey of using those optics as well. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. As we've been building the network over many years, and in fact, I was talking to one of our early engineers last night at our event, and he was reflecting on us running 20 gig connections globally many years ago. But as we know, with the continuous adoption of these large workloads and customer engagements, particularly to cloud and rumps and to many of our large partners, and when we talked about the WebEx example earlier, what we're seeing is the need to support much more higher bandwidth services, 400 gig, 800 gig, definitely, in conjunction with yourselves. But really, we had to look at how do we do this more efficiently as we continue to expand our network, over 1,000 locations. How do we do it efficiently? How do we support it? Our footprint has been quite fortunate in the way we've run it from a cost-effective point of view, from a power point of view. Pluggable optics and the things that we've been working with Cisco on in relation to some of the new technologies continues to help us drive that price and cost down, from an operations point of view, so less points of failure, much more bandwidth, easily expandable. We're also doing a lot of work with our subsea cable partners to bring more connectivity globally, 400 and 800 gig. And the important part of that is, we're seeing roughly early days, kind of a 70+% power reduction in some of those optics, which is great for us, of course. It allows us to, in many locations, in major centers, expand the network and add more capacity to it without worrying too much about, the expense of power.
Yeah.
Great.
Now that's great. I wanted to switch over to the topic of automation, and
Sure.
When we met last week to just sort of prepare for this session, Michael, the CEO, they actually gave us a demo, like a live demo of what was shown in the video here, and it was extremely impressive, being able to basically point and click and within a minute set up interconnects across any region to any cloud. So that's an extremely impressive piece of automation that you've accomplished.
Yes.
Right. So kudos on that. As you look forward and you see agentic AI and AI coming into AI ops, how are you looking to leverage AI as part of your automation stack, and what are your roadmap plans, to the extent you can share, of course, around that?
Yeah, great question. For us, we really look at AI in three areas, or at least a couple of areas. Having the benefit of being automated from day one has been of great benefit, and be able to scale our network. But where we're really looking at the AI use cases internally is more around network operations, really leveraging some of the tools to validate, troubleshooting a lot quicker, apart from provisioning and recovery. You're really using it to do more observability. How do we drive better responses for the support desk from a support and customer service point of view? How do we really drive those net ops? And we have a network operations engineering team, or a net auto team, that's really looking at some of those tools on how they can do it and how they can supplement what we've built over many, many years. Right. So there's that one area. The second area is using some of the tools to really recodify some of our automation. It's 13 years of development, works really, really well, and we continue to add products and services to the portfolio. Right. We're really going back and having a look at that code set, using automation and AI to really understand where we can optimize that. Yep. To maybe even leverage a quicker deployment scenario, or continue to scale the network. We plan to add, kind of another 200 data centers next year. So as we scale, we want to make sure we've optimized that in the way. So we're doing that. And then finally, again, very much around observability and how we can use net ops from across our network, and working closely with yourselves around some of those tool sets. Yep. On top of our network. Yeah.
Great. That's really good to hear. Thank you.
So, Michael, one topic that's important for all of our service provider customers is monetization.
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about how you think about that for the investments you make in the network and AI as well?
Yeah, sure. Look, fortunately, we've been monetizing from day one. Our founder originally tried to solve a problem of connecting his data centers, his new data centers, to other data centers. So he was solving his first problem. Then we worked out fairly quickly that by automating and optimizing and monetizing the network, we're able to do that. And the monetization comes from a couple of areas. For one, we continue to see adoption, as I said, from a project point of view, where a customer wants to spin up something temporarily and use it for a number of hours or days. We only charge for that consumption, not in consumption, but provisioned bandwidth at the time. So we're seeing monetization from that point of view. We're also seeing a lot more monetization on customers who specifically want larger bandwidth consumption models, more than they do. Our internet product is really also in that consumption model. And then, in addition to that, customers are now also talking to us about how we can actually land some of our POPs into their locations, how they can actually use that to monetize their investments, and also leverage our network from an ease of operation point of view. But effectively, all we see is continuous growth of bandwidth, monetizing that, and cloud connectivity. And of course, AI workloads are a huge one at the moment for customers who are wanting speed of access to some of the AI exchanges. And we're monetizing that quite significantly as well. Yep.
Awesome, awesome. Well, Michael, thank you very much for being with us today, and we'd like to thank all of you for joining. Hope that you got something out of this. Guru and I will be around for a bit if you have any questions, and thank you very much for being here at Cisco Live.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.